Well, guys, thank you for joining us today. Glad to be able to talk to you guys. It's been a while, at least face to face. It's been a while, but just real quick for those who may not know who you are, just introduce yourself and kind of tell a little bit about where you're at right now.
Go ahead, Craig.
I am Kyle Crigger. I'm from Corinth, Mississippi. I played at ICC for 2 years. I'm currently at Louisiana Tech University playing baseball, and I've been stuck in this house for about a month now. So, well, Jess.
Justin Medlin. I'm originally from Ripley, Mississippi, where I played high school ball there. Then went and played ICC for 2 years, and now I'm currently up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, playing at Middle Tennessee State. And luckily for Craig, the games got canceled right before we went and played them, or it would have been bad for Craig.
And actually, that was unfortunate for me because I was coming to watch you guys that weekend. But anyway, well, let's reason we got you here today. We want to talk a little bit about last season and how special it was, and we're also going to mention some about your freshman year too, because mainly before we jump into the championship season of last year, talk a little bit about that freshman season because there were so many of you guys that were freshmen here together. At what point did it really feel like it clicked with you guys that made you think, man, this team is going to be something special?
Well,
For me, I believe we started off as I think it was 11-0 or 13-0 when we were playing at Sneed, and when we got our first loss in game 2 of that series. And then the very next series we played, I think, was non-conference against Mississippi Delta, and we beat the tar out of them. So I really think that it started clicking because that was the first time we really had to deal with adversity, and we handled it well and went and got a sweep the next series.
oh man, I bring it all the way back to the fall because I didn't know what to expect. None of us, I guess, really knew what to expect going to college baseball for the first time. But when we went to the field the first day, dude, there was like 10, 15 people out there getting extra work in. And so I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Usually I'm the only guy out here doing this. And I was like, but it's just kind of a bluff. It's just first few weeks, everybody's going to be out here just kind of try to show out, but show what they're, that they're hard working and stuff. But then before I knew it, like it just kept on rolling. People kept on doing this, and then people kept on in the weight room was one of the biggest things I noticed because it was not like, you got some guys that they're, if it's say it's 3 sets of 10, they're going to do 10 reps, just super easy and go on next and not try to push yourself at all. We had dudes trying to kill themselves in the weight room, not in like a bad way, but like just literally trying to throw up as much weight as possible because it's almost like everybody in there tried to took pride in it. I mean, our freshman year, I'm pretty sure we had like 5, 6 people bench 300 plus. And like I had never seen anybody bench 300 before I got there. And I was not one of those guys, by the way. But it all started there. Then we got in the season, and I think since we were all so young and we didn't know any better, we were kind of too stupid and too ignorant to be afraid. And so we just played and started winning and winning. We're like, hey, we should probably keep doing this. And it was kind of all history from there.
All right. Well, one more thing about your freshman year. You guys qualified for the region tournament, went down to LSU Eunice, and you had them on the ropes and unfortunately didn't get the outcome we wanted. But talk a little bit about that road trip and how you guys grew as a freshman core. Now, we lost some good sophomores after that season, of course, but talk about how the freshmen who came back for their sophomore year here, how that region tournament helped you guys bond even more.
Well, we were talking about Weeks earlier, and I remember me and Weeks roomed together my sophomore year. One of my best friends. It'd be my wedding one day. And we were sitting there talking. He's like, this team has one goal. And I was like, what is that goal? He says, this goal is not to just get in the to get in the regional or just to get past the regional or just to slip in places. He's like, this team's sole goal has to be win the state and win the regional and win the World Series. Now, obviously, we didn't win. We didn't get all the way to the World Series, but we won the state easy. I don't know what the difference was between our first and second, but it was at least 2 games. I can't remember. But he was like, this is our goal this year. Like, we're going to do this, and we have to have this as a team to set our goal. And I think that was our goal the whole year, because we'd been down to Eunice. We'd been down there and got our hearts broke in extra innings, and that's a tough loss of freshman. If you're a freshman, you have to go through that loss, like, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. That's why we were so hyped up about playing them our sophomore year, because we knew what we owed them from the year before. So I think that was the biggest thing, was just that taste that we had left in our mouth from the year before.
Yeah, it did suck getting beaten extras by Eunice, and I agree with Weeks 100%. Smart guy. He only had like a 40 on his ACT, but yeah, I agree with Jess, and that was a fun road trip though. We beat Meridian that first game in a dogfight. I think we were down in the 7th inning or 8th inning, and just that taste in your mouth is. I mean, you go through it in high school every year when you get put out in playoffs from freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. Like, remember how you feel next year. Remember how you feel next year, and then after that year was the sophomore year was the first time that I actually kind of remembered the bad taste and tried to do something about it, and we all just clicked as a team and won the state championship.
Talking about those Meridian games, those were always fun, watching Staley or Stanley, I can't remember his name, him and Hootie go at it.
Yeah.
Hootie was probably like 87-ish, 88, and just changing people up and just like absolutely dominating. And he had Stanley, I think was his name, man, I can't remember if there was N or no N, but he was chunking like 92, 93 in there at us. And so it was like a power arm versus just a crafty lefty. And it was just boom, 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 going at the whole game. It was fun to watch. Remember that game.
The Meridian season was always fun.
I remember DeSantis throwing out the guy at home for the sweep freshman year.
Dude, that was awesome too. I forgot all about that.
I think it was the extras too. I think it was the 8th.
No, it was the bottom of the 9th, I believe. They had a runner on 3rd, and we actually brought DeSantis in there as a defensive replacement. Like, because who did we have out there? We had Drake or Weaver or somebody out there.
I think we had Weaver and Drake pinched hit.
That's right. And then we were up by 1, so we wanted to put somebody out there with a good arm and good gloves. We threw DeSantis out there. So enough. They hit him off. It was just a routine ball. Yeah. They had a pretty fast guy on 3rd. They were gonna take their shot there and try to tie it up. No, sir.
Yeah, I think I threw my glove over the dugout, actually.
There's not a surprise on that one, Crigger. But well, while we're talking about Meridian, there is one thing, Jonas, I have to mention about that really long, hard hit single you had last year against them. Tell us a little bit about that real quick.
Well, the video is all over internet. If you ever get curious and want to dig a little bit, you can probably find it somewhere. So we're up by no, we're tied. We're tied. Jacob Paul is at 2nd. And it's been a fight the whole time. And dude, I think he's got Southern Miss now through 1. He gave me a fastball. Had 2 strikes because I actually choked up on the bat. I always hated choking up on the bat, but coach insisted on it and kind of made us. So I did it, and then usually worked a bunch of times. But I choked up, and dude, I barreled up a ball on a line. I swear off the bat it was 500 feet. Had to be like over the scoreboard. Is what I thought it was going to be. Everybody else on dugout thought it was too. Little knew the wind was blowing in about 30 miles an hour that day, and so it was going, and it just hit a freaking wall, fell in, and went off the wall. And I get to first base, and I'm happy because I just smoked the ball for 1. 2, I just knocked in the go ahead. And 3, I just gave a really sweet pimp job, but it didn't go over. It kind of diminished it. So I was going down first base, and I get there, and of course Ernest is blessing me out. He's mad. I catch it more from him than Coach Collier, and Coach Collier walks there. I see him catch my eye, and I see him walking to me, and I get on my knees. I get my helmet, beat it on the ground. I'm like, dang it, I'm stupid. Dang it. And he walks to me, and he's just kind of like, come on, man, what was you thinking? Because I knew if I really acted like I was super upset, then it would he wouldn't get on me as hard. And so, yeah, I gave him the go-ahead, and then I get on first base with that long single because I decided to watch the ball for too long, which was really selfish. I'm not taking it. It was really selfish. But then the next guy up, actually, no, Jacob Paul was on deck behind me. I can't remember who I scored. He gave Jacob Paul the bunt when I was on first. And I was like, oh, crap, because he gave him the bunt and he missed it twice. And so I was like, now I'm on first base. He gave him the bunt. He's missing the bunt. Now he grounds out. If he gets a ground ball to shortstop, we double up, and now I'm really getting chewed out. He gets 2 strikes, and thank God Jacob Hall hits a ground ball single up the middle, and I get the third. And I'm like, he just bailed me out. It's like, 'cause if he would have hit, if he would have done anything other than that right there, I would have been catching so much crap.
All right, well, since we mentioned the funny story and kind of the negative, if you want to call it that, let's talk about the positive. Let's talk about the home run against Pearl River to walk it off.
I watched that video the other night actually on YouTube.
Well,
was actually-
since you just did, Kyle, give us your viewpoint and your memory of it first before we get Justice.
Well, I don't have the best memory of it, but I just came in to pitch, and I pitched the game before. I was already gassed, but of course I told Coach Collier I was good to go. And I was actually getting a drink out of the Gatorade cooler on the end of the dugout, and I heard it hit off the bat. So I didn't get to see it off the bat, and I look, and everybody's like saying "go ball," and I finally found it after. I mean, it was a good 500 feet up in the sky. And then I threw my hands up, and I was just sitting at the Gatorade cooler. Everybody's running toward the plate, and I'm just standing there staring, praying it went out. And it went out, and I took a deep breath, and I went nuts. And what was funny is in the dorm room a few nights ago, it may have been a couple of weeks before, Justin said he'd never hit a walk-off before. And then
So I came close. Remember that one I hit off you in North Half?
Yeah, he came close. I won't mention the 3 in scrimmages because scrimmages don't really count. But
yeah, scrimmages don't count, man. We do got footage for that, though.
But yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, we relived it for really I think that's what really sparked the big season for us was the Grand Slam off Jones as well, too. Can't forget about that one.
Yeah, we're going to go to that one next. Don't worry. That's on the list. But go ahead, Just. Tell us a little bit about that because that was in game 2 after, that gritty game 1 performance where y'all beat Pearl River. But to get the sweep. Yeah, Just had a day that day. But tell us about that, how to get that sweep. And, I mean, it actually helped propel us in the rankings as well, that and the Jones series, which we'll talk about too. But just take us through that pretty quickly here, just kind of what you were thinking when you stepped in the box and how you felt rounding the bases and then falling into the Gatorade bath at home plate.
So it started off, you got to go from the beginning, talking about where it was. And before that series even started, I looked at, I think, Powell, and I was like, dude, if we sweep Pearl River, we're going to win the state. That's just how it's going to go. It was us and Pearl River top 2. Like that, it was us, Pearl River, Northwest, actually. But at that point in time, it was us and Pearl River. And so I actually had some a chip in my shoulder because year before, I have a hat trick or do I have a golden sombrero?
Yeah, golden sombrero, Josh.
Yeah, I had 4 Ks in one game against Pearl River the year before. It was the first thing I've ever done. So we win game 1. I hit a missile off the guy. I'm talking about a long single. I think that was the game where I hit one off Crig's teammate because he struck me out 4 times year before, and I hit one off the wall that probably went through our wall in game 1. But then game 2, we get there and we're down 6-2. Like, who comes back from 6-2 against one of the best teams in the conference? So we're playing them, and it's 6-2. Craig and Jack and LB all get on. I hit a double over the right fielder's head that literally, if it's a guy that usually plays right field, it's probably an out because if you watch a video, it gets over his glove by just like a couple inches. I get on second. We score 4-6. And before we walked to the plate, I was, I don't know, I was feeling good that day, to say the least. I was feeling very confident. Lane Domino comes up, hits a missile up the middle, and before I even think about it, a ground ball. It was because it was on one hop scud. I just cut out running. I've never ran this fast to have in my life. I watch the video sometimes just to see, hey, I can run pretty fast. And score him. We go into the 8th, and I'm like, it's extras this time. And I'm sitting at first base like, hey, it's a close game. So get top of the 9th, and I start smiling. I start realizing, like, hey, you're due up, man. Like, I start smiling. I was like, what if you had a walk-off bomb? I'm like, no, don't think about that. Stop thinking about that right now. Play defense. Like, no, don't. That's not going to happen. I walk out to the plate, and I'm still smiling. Weeks comes up to me. He says, all right, don't be a hero, but on the first swing, he said, in this game on the first swing. He said, if you don't do it then, shorten up, get on base, help team out. And I said, yes, sir. And so I get up there, first pitch fastball, up and in. I catch the bottom of it, get it in the air, spin, and I'm like, oh, no, that's a lazy fly ball. And then I guess God just kind of thumped it. And because I overspun it way too much, and it just carried, barely went over. And I remember getting about halfway to first base, just raising my arm, like, oh, frick, that just went out. I was like, oh, man, that just happened. And I don't remember anything else, really. I remember round the bases, seeing Coach Collier jumping up with his hands.
He was.
Yeah. Going around third, throwing my helmet up, probably probably the hardest pitch I've thrown all year was throwing my helmet up in the air before I got home. And then just freezing cold with his water on me. But it wasn't cold like unpleasant. It was just cold like, oh, man, this is awesome. It was literally, my heart was racing. That was the most intense, satisfying moment I've ever had in my entire life. And then going into the locker room afterwards with all the guys in there singing our team song. I'm not going to name the team song on here, but the team song going throughout the speakers and like everybody jumping up and dancing. And
Water.
jersey ripped off of me, water thrown all over me. It was by far. I'll never forget it. I won't forget that till the day I die. It's the best thing I ever had in my life.
Now, talking about the helmet throw, and we've mentioned Jonathan Weeks several times, and Kyle mentioned how smart he is. He actually, I remember it was either the next day after the game or the night of, he actually texted me a picture of a piece of paper where he actually did a math equation to see how far you threw your helmet.
After the game, that video starts circulating around Twitter and all, and I believe Justin's girlfriend is the one that took the big shot video that you can see everything. So that's the one I used. So I noticed I'm watching him come around third, and he gets about halfway down the third baseline, and he throws it really, really high. I'm thinking, man, I wonder how high that went. And then immediately the next thought, is being a math person, was like, I can figure that out. So I kind of used Just as a reference point, being 6 feet tall, and I screenshotted and worked my way up the screen and figured out it was this high. And I don't remember the exact numbers at that part, but then I was like, okay, average helmet weighs this much, so he's going to have to put this much force on it. And I did assume that it went straight up. You don't want to account for any, off to the side or anything. So I did assume it went straight up. And then once I figured out how much force he put on it, I translated that force into how much it would be for a 5-ounce baseball. So what I came up with is that he would have thrown a baseball about 78 miles an hour straight up, underhanded, which is that's a hard helmet throw. It's a lot of force.
That was a memorable night for sure. And let's keep it going here. One more series we'll talk about for sure is the Jones series. Now, Jones, they're always a good ball club as well. We've had good battles with them. You guys did when you're 2 years here, of course. But going into Ellisville, getting the sweep, Kyle, we'll start with you. Just talk about that series and talk about especially your grand slam, which kind of was the highlight of the day. There was many highlights because I know we had good pitching performances and everybody played really well. But talk about that grand slam and that whole series, Kyle.
I don't really know where to start. I remember we were getting beat early. Hootie was pitching good. They were finding little bloop singles and little ground balls to the infield. And then we were starting to rally. I remember LB hit I think it was a double in left center. And then the rain started coming down, I believe. I remember we were hitting when it started raining, and we didn't get to finish the inning, but I think we scratched a couple of runs before the rain delay, I believe, if I remember it correctly. And then the sun started coming back out, and their field so thin, the grass everything so thin that, it wasn't even really wet after that much. And coming out the next top half or bottom half of the inning, I remember Hootie got a double play ball to me, and then that got us, and then he got a strikeout to get out of the inning and did the little shimmy, I believe was. And then I knew it was, when I hit the grand slam, it was bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-2 count. And I hadn't hit nothing for 5 weeks, it felt like. And they were hammering with sliders. I didn't really get many fastballs at bat. So I was sitting dead red off speed. If he threw a fastball, I was probably beat.
Because what do we love, Craig?
Do what?
Because what do we love?
We love fastballs. And he hung it, and I mean, I had one thing on my mind. I really wasn't hunting for a single at the time, and got a barrel and hit it out. By then, I about broke Coach Carter's hand at third base too when I rounded third. I punched his hand. I didn't give him a fist bump. I punched his hand. He came in the dugout and he said, started shaking his hand. He said, "Don't do that again." And then we gave each other a head. He had his helmet on, and we banged heads and went up from there. I actually think I went 6 for 7 that series, and that kind of got me back on my feet. You know, I still batted .270, but I had to.
Craig always came up when we needed him, though. That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
All right, Just tell us a little bit about that Jones series as well and what it was for you.
Oh, well, I got one more thing, actually. I forgot.
Okay.
After my grand slam, Just actually came up to me and said, "Well, about time." And then I looked at him. I said, "All right, well, now it's your turn." And then he can tell his.
So Craig was struggling up to that point, and they were hammering with sliders that day. I didn't understand. Like, he was batting our leadoff, and he was batting, like, you can look at scout report and tell this guy's struggling right now. So I don't know why you're hammering with sliders. Like, getting the fastball up, that's what he's swinging at. But it's okay. Give me the changeup in the dirt, and I'll swing at it. So Craig goes up here. Well, go back. We were kind of at the beginning. It was a really close game. It was both teams fighting back and forth. It was getting kind of like first inning or two. I was getting kind of like, oh crap, we're in for a war today, and it starts raining, and it was like when the rain came, the freaking Indian rain dance came along, and we just started banging the ball, like people were banging on they had like a metal ceiling in there. It was sounding like a tribal dance going on inside with all the bats, smoking balls and the freaking tin getting banged up there. And I'm like, golly, this is awesome. So rain delay came. We came back just good. And Hootie was throwing well, but it wasn't his best start ever. What made Hootie good is because even though he didn't have his best start, he was still competing his butt off, which he was slipping over the mound. The mound was wet, but JUCO, it doesn't matter. You just throw. And it isn't like where he's at now, where they come tend to him hand and foot and stuff. And he'll laugh at that later if he sees this. But he's throwing well. He's always competing up there. Craig comes up, and we have base loaded. I think 2 outs. Was it 2 outs, Craig?
Yeah, 2 outs. 2
outs. Craig gets 2 strikes on him. Craig was notorious this season for not doing that great with 2 strikes. So he was struggling. It's out there. He was struggling. Well, as were a few of us. The dude hangs him a slider, though, and he goes, yah. Grand slam. Craig goes crazy. He's going insane. Y'all know how Craig is when he gets wild up. He gets grand slam. Everybody's pumped up. The pen starts getting beat even higher. Everybody's screaming. You can just see, like, the air in Jones' lungs just kind of go, like, wow, that just happened. So Craig goes yah, hits the grand slam. He needed it, too. I was so happy for him. Because me and Craig's my hitting partner. That's what a bunch of things people don't know is me and Craig would always go hit together at night underneath the pole barn. I might, like, take credit for his swing a little bit. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, he hit that, and I was like, dang, that's a pretty good shot. Game 2, I think it was off that guy who left Alabama and came there. Wasn't that him? He was throwing like 86, 87.
I think it is.
Yeah, dude hangs fastball. I hit one out of him, and first thing on Craig was, hey, yours didn't go as far as mine. He's like, yes, it did, dude. Yes, it did. Mine was way far. I was like, no, I don't play. But Craig always had one of the best swings on the team, and it was the cool thing was because even though he was struggling, it was whenever we needed him most, he always came out because like that swing up there especially was big time. We needed that, and he came up clutch for it.
All right. Well, now let's move into the conference title clinching game against Delta. Just kind of take us through. Of course, we've all seen the video of the dog pile, and of course, I'm probably going to overlay it on this as well. But that last strike, not necessarily the whole series, but just talk about that last strike when Jackson struck the guy out and you guys just all charged him out, and Hootie actually form tackled Jackson perfectly. Probably one of the best hits I've seen in a while. But just talk about that. We'll keep it here with you, Just go through that emotion. You being at first, you were at first at that moment, right?
Yes, I was the first.
Talk about that emotion of seeing that umpire ring him up and knowing you guys had clinched the conference title.
Okay, well, first off, if I'm that batter for Delta, I'm mad because that ball was a good 6 inches off the plate. But at that point, we were winning. That umpire was pretty horrible. I can't remember his name. He was bad. We had him some other time too. I think it might have been a Unix game.
Let's not mention his name.
Okay, yeah, I won't mention his name. But Jackson puts one probably 92, 93, 5, 6 inches off the plate, and Jackson rings him up. And this is the only regret I have about ICC. We went to do the dog pile, and I babied it. I didn't go all in like I should have. I was thinking I need my left arm for the regional. I was like, I really don't want to be at the bottom of this. We got some really big dudes on this team. And so if you watch the video, you kind of see me kind of ease up and then jump in. That's the only thing I regret. I should have won it and form tackled. We should have smushed Jackson between me and Hootie should have. But still just laying there on top and watching the video of Pate with his broke arm, coming in and jumping in, and watching Collier come and jump in, that just shows how close we were and how we all understood that even, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and even our injured guys were as happy about us winning as the guys who started every day. And it was just a big, I don't know, man. It almost makes you kind of want to tear up thinking about it because those days were awesome. Those days were so awesome.
Kyle?
But
I think what won us that series, if I had to choose one person, and you don't really think about it much, but Austin Powell had 2 home runs, I believe, in game 1.
Center field and Oppo, I think. No, he pulled one and hit one dead center, I believe.
Yeah. And, it didn't go unnoticed. I mean, everybody knew it happened, but it didn't really get talked about much. Everything was just about Justice's walk-off, And, but –
oh, that was Brett's. No, that was Hines. Just kidding.
Yeah, that was Hines when Brett said his. But, yeah, I mean, Austin Powell, I actually think he had 4 hits in game 1. And if I'm not mistaken, we were trailing about halfway through the ball game. And I think Jackson had a home run in game 2, I believe. Didn't he, Jeff?
Yeah, and let's not take away from Cole Kelly taking me yard twice.
Oh, yeah, after he But it was an awesome day. I remember me and Jackson had lost the state championship in high school in game 3, and I remember we talked about in the dorm room. I was like, we're not losing this one. We're winning it at our place. We're dogpiling at our place. And I'm with Just. I kind of just fell on the pile. I didn't jump. And, well, see, I kind of missed the dog pile at first. It happened. I think I chunked my glove, and I think I was hollering at Dom. And then I look, and I actually see Jackson get smoked by Hootie, and Jackson's hat went flying, I believe. And then, but it was awesome. One of the most fun parts was when we would sweep. We'd spank Coach Ernest and Coach Collier as they walked through the line. Coach Collier took a beating that night. I will say so.
Yes, he did.
All right, guys.
He loved every second of it.
Oh, yeah, he'll tell you that to this day. He loves it. Don't worry. But, guys, we're going to wrap this up, and I just want to wrap it up real quick with each of you, just a couple minutes. Just talk about what, not just last season, but what ICC meant to you within your 2 years here and to be able to bring a championship home to the program.
Fulton's a special place. ICC is a special place. I wouldn't have gone anywhere else. Not a chance. I think the things I miss the most, and not that I don't still have relationships with the guys I played with and the guys I was teammates with, and even friends, off the team, but I'm not there anymore. We're not there anymore. With Just being in Murfreesboro and Kyle being in Ruston, there's a lot of distance between us. There's 8 hours between them and 4 hours each way for me. So that's what I miss the most is I can't, Jess was my roommate. So I talked to him a lot. And Jackson and Kyle lived the floor below me. Like, they're not that close anymore, and they never will be. And that's something that I think kind of gets overlooked. You get caught up in wins and losses, and the relationships are really what I'm going to miss the most, or really what I have missed the most.
ICC will always be home to me. I look back and like at this point, I'll be in Murfreesboro for 3 years now because the season just got canceled and stuff. And no matter how long I'm in Murfreesboro, how long I'm at Middle Tennessee, like it won't ever feel like home like Fulton was. I wish Fulton was 4 year. I wish ICC was a 4-year school. Like I know Coach says that a lot. Just kind of like you think he's joking around when you're there, but when you get out of it, you're like, dang, I really do wish that was true because I don't know, JUCO ball is just different. Everybody's super gritty, super tough. JUCO guys are different. The competition is different. And it's just it's a family type deal there. Like, I don't know, everybody's just super close. Like we were just as close to you guys, the media guys, we were with Coach Collier, as we were with the team. Like it was just like everybody was pulling for each other, and it meant so much knowing that everybody cared so much, and we could bring that to the tradition of ICC. Winning baseball, we could bring them a state championship. But honestly, even more than winning, like I'm having somebody like Crigger, one of my best friends ever. Like he'll be one of the guys at my wedding one day. Like I just met some of the people that will be with me forever. Whatever I do, whenever I have something, me and Crigger still talk, weekly this day. And I just met some of my best friends there. Some of the people that I love the most I met there, and it just came out of that. That was one of the most special things I've ever been a part of.
Kyle?
I'm with Just. I tell all my friends at La Tech, they ask me, what's JUCO like? Is it really as bad as people say it is, or is it really as hard as people say it is? And, I just tell them, I said, honestly, at JUCO, we work twice as hard as we do at La Tech. I was like, we're out there, we're scrimmaging 7 hours. We're in the weight room every single day in the fall. We're running every single day in the fall. And I met some really good guys that'd be my best friends the rest of my life too at La Tech, but they don't really compare to the JUCO friendships you have of being in a dorm room together, being up at 6:00 Friday mornings, hollering in the weight room, sweating, feel like you're dying, can't wait to go to breakfast, and I don't know. And then just our bond as a team was just special. Like you knew every single person on that team had your back. Even like there's some guys that didn't even get an inning, didn't even get an at bat, and they didn't pout. They were always there cheering for us, wanting it for us, wanting it for them, because they knew they got a ring too. So I don't know. It's just a special year, and like Jess said, it's just the friendships I made. It was more than winning. Don't get me wrong, I loved winning and I loved getting a state title, but it just the friends and I don't know, just the memories there was awesome. I say to this day, I wish ICC was a 4-year. I tell all my friends, they asked me, they said, would you went back if you could? I was like, yeah, I'd have played all 4 years of my college career there and loved every minute of it. But you can tell who the JUCO guys are once you get to the next level. We have 5 or 6 JUCO guys on our team, and you can just tell by how they carry themselves. And even the coaches say it. We got us another JUCO kid. And
You got like 25 of those guys.
Yeah, y'all got a lot of those guys. I bet y'all's weight room's fun.
Oh yeah.
But you can always, I don't know, it's just I tell high school guys now that ask me for advice, I was like, if I always recommend JUCO. I'm like, I think that's the right thing to do because there's some guys that I'm not knocking the lower D1 schools, but they have a chance to go D1 right out of high school. And I'm like, you have 4 years of your career. I was like, you don't want to waste 2 and just practice with the team and work out with the team. And that's where, I don't know, I'll always be a JUCO bandit, and I love it to the day I die. Me and Coach Carter were texting at 12:30 the other night, just talking about, I told me and Jackson actually we went and hit before we had the stay in place thing. And I remember he told us a story about when I think it was when we got beat by Holmes, wasn't it, Just? Was that who beat us sophomore year?
Yes, they beat us both years.
Yeah, y'all split with them both years.
Oh, okay. And well, he told us a story about Coach Ball coming in his office and looking at his shoes, making sure he still had his shoestrings in. And I texted him the other night, and I was like, I said, you still got your shoestrings in now that the season's canceled? 'Cause I know he lives and dies by baseball. He thought that was pretty funny.
Was that series when I lost my cool, Craig?
Do what?
Was that series when I lost my cool?
Yeah, in the huddle.
Yeah,
And then we played Jones that next series.
because that's another thing that made it so awesome, so fun, because a friendship is only as good as how much it can take. So like, if you're just for instance, me and Craig aren't just friends and we got to say what each other wants to hear and be cool with each other, but like when we're down there hitting or when serious stuff went on, like we'd be dogging each other out, like, dude, your swing's sucking right now. You're swinging you're dumping your barrel back here. You're coming out of your hands. You're doing this. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you swinging this pitch? Like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing that. Help me with it. So we get down there, we'd work on it. If one of us didn't agree with another on different things, we'd tell each other. Like, I think that's what made it so, our friendship so tight, because even though we might really, make each other mad, we both, would you agree with this, Craig? Like, we both were like, we understood each other, and we were both like, when it came down to it, we're like, I know you want the best out of me. Like, I know you want me to be, the best person I can possibly be. And so, like, even though, we might have said some, especially me, I probably said some mean stuff sometimes, but like, I think Craig knows, like, I did it because I loved him. Like, is that kind of relationship. I think that's what makes a true relationship, is when you can be honest with each other.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, I appreciate you joining us. It's fun talking to you guys again. Best of luck, at La Tech and at Middle Tennessee when y'all do get back fired up. But mainly stay safe, and you guys are always welcome in Fulton anytime.
Oh yeah, we plan on coming and hitting this summer at some point if we're allowed to get out the house.
Good deal, guys. I appreciate it again. Y'all have a good one and stay safe.
Yes, sir.